Good morning. This is Jack Renauld speaking to you from the middle of the Charles River Basin on this most gorgeous of rowing mornings. We have almost no wind, totally flat water, and temperatures just about to enter the 70s. I can't think of a better setting for the 22nd rowing of the Smith Cup and the 31st meeting between these two great rowing colleges. Let's just, first of all, talk about the lineups for today. For Northeastern, at stroke, Captain Justin Okel, a senior, 6'3", from Philadelphia. At 7, Brad Bartoldo, senior, 6'4", from San Jose. We're going to pause for a moment so we don't interfere with the start of one of the beanpot races here today involving 6 colleges. They are off, and by the way, it's quite picturesque to see 6 boats going down the Charles. That's not a usual happening here. But back to our lineups. 7-man is Brad Bartoldo, senior, 6'4", San Jose, California. He is the Crash B Collegiate Sprint champ. In 6 seat, Craig Kelly, sophomore, 6'4", Stockton, California. In 5 seats, Dylan Seitz, senior, 6'5", Kentfield, California. In the 4 seat, Steve McCarthy, senior, 6 foot, Pittsburgh. And number 3, Justin Shank, sophomore, 6'5", out of Michigan. In the 2 sheet is John Peterson, junior, 6'3", out of Clearwater, Florida, and the Salisbury School. At bow, Lou Harwood, junior, 6'3", Paxton, Mass., out of St. John's, and of course learned his rowing on Quinsigamond. Coxswain is Elizabeth Carey. She's a senior from Camp Campbell, California. So our boat, the Northeastern boat, is comprised of 4 seniors, 2 juniors, and 2 sophomores. It averages over 6'3" and has 5 returnees and represents 5 different states. I might mention that today the broadcast of Go NU TV is also being aired over the Harvard website. So we want to pay a good attention to our neighbors from Cambridge. Let's go through what happened with the Huskies this season. In the San Diego Classic, they were 5th. In the Arlette Cup, they beat BU with a 6:31.16 to 6:32.48. In the Dreisegger Cup versus Brown, it was Brown 5:40.04 to NU at 5:41.4. The Congress Cup saw Oregon State make their first ever trip to the Charles River, and the Huskies dispatched them 6:04.7 to Oregon's 6:18.9. In the Burke Cup versus Penn, Northeastern again 6:28.4 to Penn's 6:30.3. So that gives the Huskies a 3-1 record so far and guarantees them a winning record for the season. Back to the Crimson, we have at stroke Patrick Lepage, a sophomore, 6'3", from Shrewsbury, England. His father, Mike, was an Olympic silver medalist. At 7th seat is Mac Eldstein, a sophomore, 6'2", from Sydney, Australia. Number 6 seat is Nick Jordan, a sophomore, 6'4", Princeton, New Jersey, and Eton College, England. He rode for both the USA and England in the World Juniors. At number 5, David Wakolich, a junior, 6'8", St. Catharines, Ontario. At number 4, Sam O'Connor, a sophomore, 6'1", Christchurch, New Zealand. He rode on the New Zealand World Junior team. Number 3, Mike DeSanto, sophomore, 6'2", from Boston and Belmont Hill School. Number 2 seed, Anthony Locke, junior, 6'2", Isle of Wight in England and Eton College. He won bronze in the under-23 World Championships. Captain and bow, Blake Pusick, senior, 6'2", Victoria, BC. Coxswain, Kelly Evans, senior, out of the Moses Brown School in Rhode Island. This boat has 5 sophomores, 2 juniors, and 1 senior. It has 3 varsity returnees. It averages 6'3" and represents 5 countries. I might mention that when you see the preponderance of sophomores in this Harvard varsity boat, it might be explained that last year's Harvard freshman was undefeated. Let's talk about some comparisons here. Brown beat Harvard by 1 second. Brown beat NU by 1.4 seconds. Harvard beat Penn by 12.2 seconds, and NU beat Penn by 1.9 seconds. In the national poll, it's Harvard in 4th spot, NU in 6th. In the Eastern Sprint poll, it's Harvard in the 2nd spot, Northeastern in the 4th. Looking at the full Harvard results of this season, Harvard defeated Cornell. First time those two schools had met in dual situations since 1961, with Harvard prevailing on Cayuga 536.9 to Cornell at 544.9. Then they went down for the Stein Cup to the Seekonk, and Brown 541.5 to Harvard's 542.5. Charles for the Compton Cup in that very bizarre race, with Harvard winning 553.01 to MIT 619.08, and Princeton did not finish. That was the bizarre race where the steering cable of Princeton's was snapped. The Princeton shell veered into the Harvard shell and snapped off its bow. So the Harvard record currently is 5-1. Talking about the Smith Cup, this will be the 22nd rowing of the Smith Cup. Harvard has won the last 12, and the record Harvard 18, NU 3. Overall record dating back to 1967 is Harvard 26, NU 4. Our two coaches today are for the Crimson, of course, the legendary Harry Parker. Harry, in his 48th year here, has won about as many Eastern Sprints as the New York Yankees have won pennants. John Podjednik in his 10th season at Northeastern, and in my estimation, a young man that will rise to become a legend. Both coaches started their careers very early. Harry Parker took over the helm at Harvard when he was 26 years of age, and John Podjednik took over the helm at Northeastern at 24 years of age. He's had, I believe, 8 out of 10 winning seasons and has made the finals of the Eastern Sprints 7 out of 9 times. It is so gorgeous out here. It sort of brings about the mystique that surrounds rowing and the uniqueness of it. And the fact that most of these young rowers out here, some will go on to international fame, but others will just be recreational rowers for the greater parts of their lives. And this scene reminds me of a short paragraph out of a book called The Challenge by former Harvard coxswain Devin Mahoney. And I'll just give this to you to set the scene here. Quote, "The sound of the oarlocks and the blades, the feel of the glide and the swing of the boat. That moment involved a oneness within the boat, a molding with the surroundings." End quote. I think that sums it up quite a bit. Our officials are trying to get the boats aligned now. Northeastern is already at its stake boat. Harvard is slowly pulling into its stake boat. And we'll take a pause and just enjoy the scenery. Harvard is now at their stake boat, and today's officials should be doing the final alignment and then the start. We have to be relatively quiet as they start the race because sound carries over the water quite a bit, and we don't want to interfere with our referee. We are off. Shell's probably rowing between a 40 and a 42 as they try to get their shells in motion. After 20 hard strokes, it seems to me that Harvard has an edge here of a bow, maybe a seat. Harvard still pushing out. We're coming up to 500 meters, and Harvard has taken at least a 6-seat margin. Both boats probably rowing in the vicinity of 36 for the body of the race. The Huskies are trying to keep wood on wood here. But Harvard, I think, is breaking now into open water. Huskies fighting hard to try to get back in this race. We are approaching the 1,000-meter mark, and it is the Crimson by a length and a half. Coming out from under the Mass Ave Bridge, Harvard now has a comfortable 2-length lead. Harvard has increased it to nearly 3 lengths. What the crews look forward to is the Eastern Sprint Regatta, which will be at Lake Quinsigamon on Sunday, May 16th, and then on to the IRA Regatta in early June. Both boats here today will be contenders for the finals of the Eastern Sprints. Both boats will also have next weekend off. Northeastern has narrowed the margin to about 2 lengths, but unless something equipment-wise happens, they will run out of water. Finish line is coming up. Harvard has extended its lead to maybe 2 1/4 lengths or 2 1/2 lengths. Harvard is over the line. Northeastern is over the line. So Harvard remains king of the Charles River once again as they take the 22nd rowing of the Smith Cup. I might mention that the Smith Cup was named after Charlie Smith, who was a boatman for both Harvard and Northeastern and died tragically in an automobile accident on the way to the IRA Regatta in 1988. It's been fun being with you for this race, and hope we see you on the Charles again next year.